Okay, so kind of digging into this amp here a little bit to show a little bit about it and the story that goes along with this amp. Of course, they all got a story. So I've taken it apart here to kind of go through and show, the originality of everything. And so here, you're looking at the bottom of the chassis, transformers, and so on and so forth. You see there's, nothing's been done to this as far as I can see. Everything is original. Got a little bit of leakage on the capacitors, but this thing actually works really well. And so here's the story with this, okay? Ran into a fella here several years ago, and we became good friends. And after a couple of years, we knew each other for a couple of years, and come to find out that he played guitar, and he found out that I played guitar. So we started talking. He's like, hey, I still got a bunch of my old stuff, but I haven't played in years. And this gentleman's still alive today. He's 84 years old, and and like I said, he's a good friend. So I said, well, let me take a look at it. So he took me into this room in his house, and way off in the corner he had all this stuff. And I'm just going to kind of keep showing some stuff here while I'm talking. But he's showing me this stuff in this really cluttered room, and I see this Fender Deluxe reverb. No, it's not a reverb. I just see this Fender Deluxe Brownface. And I'm like, holy smokes, that's a Brownface. He's like, yeah, he goes, used to play in an old country band out here in Colorado, and we played clubs, bars and stuff like that. And the guy that used to play the lead guitar, he had bought this amp brand new in, I think, '63. And my friend bought it off of him for $100 in 1965. And you could say, got a couple of things going on. It's all original as far as I could tell. That's kind of in rough shape there. And my friend, he knew how all this stuff happened. There's a burn there and stuff. That was all while they were playing out. It's got some stains and stuff on it. But anyway, so I paid $100 for it. And my friend said that after that, the original owner was constantly after him to sell this amp back to him. But he wouldn't sell it. And so when I first saw it, first thing I said was, hey, you want to sell that? He said no. So never really took it out of the corner and everything. And so one day we moved. After a few years, we moved. But I still go up every 6 months or so and stay with this guy for a day or two, and we visit. And so I was up there a few years ago, and we started talking about that, and he said, well, let's get it out. And he probably hadn't played this thing in 30 years, and it was really dusty. And he had an old guitar there. It really wasn't worth anything. And the high E string was missing on it. And anyway, we plugged it in. We plugged this amplifier in. And the regular channel was kind of crackly and stuff like that. The pots weren't scratchy or anything, but there was a lot of snapping and popping and stuff going on. And the bright channel was horrible. And kind of fiddled around with it for probably 10 minutes or so. I turned it off and I said, I'll write you a check for whatever right now. And he said, okay. And I was like, shit, I can't believe it, because I don't know how many times I'd asked him if he wanted to sell it. And he said no. So I bought the amp, and I brought it home. And I was thinking, I've had old Fender amplifiers before, and all of them, every one I've had has had some monkey business going on inside where people have recapped it and rewired it and stuff like that. But I was pretty confident this was original from what this fella had told me, because he had never done anything with it, and he bought it when it was only a couple years old. So anyway, I just plugged it in and started playing on it. And I play pretty much every day. I play a couple hours on this amplifier every day. And after about a month, it actually started sounding good. But I never played the bright channel because that was really bad when I first got it. But after about a month or two, one day the regular channel was sounding like excellent. Like there was not a problem with it. And I plugged in the bright channel, and it was perfect. And I think the problem was it hadn't seen electricity in a long time. And you know, these things like electricity. They like to have electricity flowing through them, all these components. So if I got one thing to kind of say about that is, you know, maybe if you get an old amp, run it for a while before you start ripping into it, changing everything. And so I never opened it up for the longest time. Then I thought, well, maybe I'll try to sell it because I've got some other stuff, and for whatever reason. So I thought I better open it up and go through it and see what I got. So I opened it all up and looked at it, and as far as I can tell, everything's original. So you can see that's all original. All the tubes in it are old, you know, tubes from that era. See if I can turn this over. Kind of doing this all myself here. But there you go, right down through here. Everything. Nothing has ever been touched. And the pots, everything checks out. Nobody's ever been in here. There's no monkey business in here at all. And the other thing is it's clean. There's no corrosion that I can see. And, you know, it's just fun to kind of look at the workmanship and stuff that would have been done 56 years ago. And, sorry about that. Like I said, I'm operating this camera by myself, but everything in here is original. Isn't that something? Okay, so go down through here. But it's an awesome amp, and you know, I've thought a couple times about, like, you know, well, I'm not going to take it out and gig with it or anything like that because I don't want to break it. But, you know, after I've been inside it now a couple times to look at it like this, I'm like, if I don't sell this, I'm going to replace that handle and keep the original. And I'm going to start taking it out and gigging with it because it's an awesome sounding amp. And you know what? It's not built. I mean, it's built better than they're built today. When you look at all those solder joints and everything in there, there's nothing's going to happen to this amp unless I abuse it. So the only thing is I got this tape down here. And I don't know, these wires and everything are original. And that speaker's original. It's got the right codes and everything on it. But I think somebody might have busted this off here at one time. And it's pretty tight on there. It's soldered on there, and for some reason there's a piece of tape on it. I've never pulled that off, and I'm not gonna. But I haven't taken the speaker out, but I think the speaker's original. There's your. So it's got some staining in the bottom. I mean, it's got some character. It was used. These guys played for several years, and then it got put away. And sat around for probably 30 years. So anyway, there's the amp. That's the story. Okay, I don't have any documentation or anything like that, but that's the story. Like I say, this fellow's 84 years old, still alive today. He's a great friend, and I believe what he's told me about it. And the evidence that I have kind of checks out. So anyway, that's the story behind this amp, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.